you're there as an observer of the U.S. elections. Tell us
Yes.
what that means, what you've been up to these last few days.
So I'm with the IFES program, and I'm here in the conference with election officials from all over the world, about 60 countries represented here. And we discussed yesterday innovations as regards election management. And today we'll be visiting several poll places. In fact, I'll be going with a group to Maryland and some voting centers here in Washington. So three sites.
If you're an election observer, that means you get to sit in and observe the proceedings, the process as people come up to vote. Is that right?
Well, if it's same as the previous elections I observed, we go in and we talk to the election officials. We ask a few questions. We observe. We don't meddle. That's the rule. We don't disrupt, but we can inquire, ask a few questions, and see how they conduct elections. And in fact, that's what we did last time.
Okay, well, this might be a little bit premature because I know the polls had just opened right there in the East Coast. But
Yes.
in terms of, I guess, the lead up to the opening of the polls and the last days of the campaign, Goyo, and since this is your third elections that
Yes.
you're observing there, what stands out to you with this one, with this third one, the 2024
Well,
elections?
Well, as compared to previous elections, there's more involvement in with the people now. Previously, people were not too involved in voting. They didn't really voice their opinion. Now they're more vocal. If you're for Trump, they will say you're for Trump, and if you're for Harris, they would be open about the fact that they are voting for Harris.
You mean they're more open about who they're choosing to be their
Yes,
president?
and let me put it, they're more enthusiastic now as compared to before. You would see it in, like, I talked to a Filipina who's been here for about 30 years, and she has a kid here in Texas, and I asked her about who she wants to vote for, and uh, she said she was voting for Harris. After a few probing questions, she opened up that she was voting for Harris.
Okay.
That's a good thing then, though, right? That means people are more engaged.
Oh yes.
Are we expecting a record turnout this year?
Okay. I think it will be based on the pronouncements of some analysts. I think it will be in the level of the 2008 elections where Obama ran and won. President Obama ran and won. But when you say about enthusiasm going up, it's for Americans it's high, but as compared to the Philippines, it's very low. There's so many Americans who still do not care to vote. Um,
Oh.
you've seen reports that people are 50 in their 50s or 60s who voted for the first time in their lives. In the Philippines, that hardly happens. Diba?
Yeah.
That hardly happens. Everybody pretty much votes on election day.
Wait, sorry. You mean to say their voter turnout is lower than the Philippines' is? How could that be?
Oh yeah, oh
Oh.
yeah. It's pretty low. I think it's about 20 to 30%. I might be wrong, but it's about a fourth of the population who only votes. Uh,
Oh.
so it's not that high. It's not. It's
Ver-
not high at all.
versus the Philippines, where are we at? Uh,
We're about 80 plus percent, and in some precincts, in some areas, it's 100% turnout.
Right.
even even the ones who are long dead still vote.
But Goyo,
We,
that's
we, we purged that already. I'm sure
We
Comelec has
purged
purged
it.
those.
Okay, that's good to hear.
it's updated now and we have biometrics, right?
Yeah. Yes, you have the ethics. Oh, by the way, remember, if you fail to vote in two successive elections in the Philippines, you're deactivated. So it's too late to register now or reactivate. But um, in the Philippines, people are pretty involved in the elections and wanting to vote.
Do you think it's because of multi-partisanship here versus, they're just pretty much really voting left or right or red or blue, right? You're both, but here it's kind of like a party. The way campaigns are held here, it's almost like a Sunday noontime variety show all the time. Would that have something to do with it, or is it the ayuda culture?
I think that could be it, but in the U.S. kasi, um, they they elect their presidents via electoral college. It's not popular vote that wins the presidency; it's electoral college. So in states like, for example, California, where it's deep blue, I mean, you say it's basically a Democrat. A lot of people in California really don't want to vote anymore because they know they won't make a difference, diba? Um, so the turnout is pretty high generally in swing states lang, and there are 7 swing states in the U.S. now.
Yeah. And
The others,
what are the talk? Do you
go
hear
ahead.
any talk about where these swing states will go? Because everyone's just saying
If I'm
it's too close to call.
if I'm not mistaken, it's Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Nevada, and Arizona. Yeah, that's a key. That's most. So that's interesting. Those are the states that you pretty much have to. That those are states that are up for grabs. However, I have to add, no, there was a poll that was released about 3 days or 2 days ago by Jay Ann Seltzer in Iowa, where in which in 2020 Trump won Iowa by 9 points, but the poll suggested that Harris was leading by 3 points. And if that becomes reality, Iowa's a deep red state. And if she wins that state, that changes everything.
Attorney Goyo, I mean, because the race is so tightly contested, I mean, both
Yes.
Kamala and Donald have been neck and neck in surveys. I mean, could this
Yes.
mean a longer wait for Americans before they find out who the winner is for these elections?
Yes. Unlike in the Philippines, where you basically know the vote count before the following day, no, or just a few hours. Here, kasi it's per state per county. There's no one centralized voting system used. So each state can choose its own voting system. Each county can choose its own voting system. Um, However, you have to comply with the HAVA, Help America Vote Act now. But for example, in one county, you can have voting hours start at 8. The other county can start at 7. One county will do early voting, like in DC, no, and Virginia, where I have a friend who voted last October 23 yata. So in some states, it's election day itself lang voting. Other states man, like for example, I think Washington and Oregon, they do 100% mail-in vote. So walang election day voting, it's just all mail-in. So iba-ibang sistema,
Right.
iba-ibang manner of
Yeah.
voting.
Well, I don't know that we're going to be quick to count our results for next year. Remember that we're changing elections providers, but
That's another topic altogether.
exactly. We'll talk to you about that on another day. For
Yes.
now, we'll leave it there.
Yes.
Goyo Larrazabal.
However, I
Yeah.
think, however, I want to say that don't expect official results to come out for the
Yeah.
popular votes within 24 hours. Normally, it's until Saturday yun eh.
Yeah.
Kasi they have to count the mail-in votes, absentee votes, etc.
For sure. We're going to be waiting with bated breath. Thanks so much for your time, Goyo Larrazabal, former Comelec Commissioner and proprietor of Larrazabal Law Office.